What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about this on YouTube. All right, but I think this is important to mention because of the possible ramifications of what is going on now with Israel and Palestine, and to a lesser extent, what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have been talking about how a lot of times these things can have domino effects and how these things can lead to bigger, broader wars being fought to the point where you have what is called a world war, where many, many nations are involved in a virtual global warfare crisis. We saw this in World War One. We saw an even bigger and huger extent in World War Two. And a lot of times you heard people hype up World War Three. This could be World War Three. Most of the times, 95% of that was just hyperbole and stuff for clicks and likes and views. But this is something that's legitimate. Now, hopefully, this never happens because the ramifications in today's world with this technology, this isn't just a ground-to-ground combat like in older times. It could be something that could be, in a nuclear world, catastrophic, apocalyptic, even. Okay? So I'm not using this language to scare. I'm using this language to put it into perspective as to how important this is. This is why it sometimes frustrates me when I'm talking about things like this, my views are low. But when I'm talking about something that is frivolous, like Jada Pinkett or something, people watch it. I mean, I get it. People go to social media to, go away from their problems and look at things that can make them, they want levity or something that is silly. But sometimes you gotta face things for what they are. So anyway, let me get to the point. Iran has issued something of a threat to the United States. And why is this? Well, I put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. Iran gives moral and financial support to Hamas, which controls the Gaza Strip and whose militants have attacked southern Israel, killing over 1,400 people and taking 200 hostages. According to the Associated Press, Israel conducted a bombing campaign in Gaza, which local officials have said has killed at least 2,800, almost 3,000 people. After the U.S. deployed 2 aircraft carriers and supporting ships to the eastern Mediterranean in a warning to Tehran and ahead of a visit to Israel by President Joe Biden, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's advisor, Mohammad Jayed Larijani, said any U.S. military intervention on behalf of Israel, quote, would be a strategic mistake. He told Iranian television it would mean that the United States would become a legitimate target for the resistant fighters in the entire region, and that the war will not be limited anymore to Gaza. Larijani also said resistant forces have, quote, better opportunities elsewhere in the region compared to Gaza, and he predicted in the near future America's presence in Syria and Iraq will be very costly for them, according to a translation of his interview by the Middle East Media Research Institute. Remember, because of the Iraqi war, we still have a presence of Americans in these regions. They're in close proximity to Iran. In a possible situation where Iran becomes hostile to the United States, they could kidnap people. I don't want to say this on YouTube. They could do things. All right? They could do things that could further inflict tensions, and this thing could lead into something broader. Our allies could then side up with us, and and you know their allies will side up with them and retaliate, retaliate, and I'm pretty much what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to warn that this thing can get into a bigger and broader situation that could be deleterious to the peace, that relative peace that we've sought and have seen globally since World War II. Now we had the Vietnam War, of course, but that was localized, and the Vietnam War was actually intended to prevent the domino effect of a larger scale war. There's also the possibility of another type of situation we can get ourselves involved in, but I'm going to talk about that on the Patreon. But anyway, just want to put this out there. Tell me what you guys think.